Hello and welcome. I am here with Charlie Cope, representing Republic Airways, and we would really like to thank you for being here with us. We're starting up with some warm-up questions. Do you remember the first flight you ever took?
Yes, I remember. I think I remember the first flight I ever took.
Would you share
If not
experience?
the first or second. I've been flying in an airplane since I was a newborn.
No.
No, I don't really remember that. But my parents, 50-some years ago, put a crib in the back of a Piper Cherokee, and I know I made my way to Philadelphia in that crib, and back is my first flight. There's pictures of it.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but then I probably made the first flight I remember flying in the front seat was about 4 or 5 years old in that same airplane with my father, who flew B-17s out of England in World War II. But that was my first memories of flight. I've seen pictures of an infant and then maybe 4 years old in the right seat of a Cherokee.
This started way earlier than I did. I had my first flight when I was 21.
21?
And this is a question because you're a pilot. So do you prefer flying the aircraft in the front, or do you prefer being a passenger in the back?
I prefer flying in the front, absolutely.
Are you going to fly the eVTOLs? Ultimately?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Fantastic. And then when you board a commercial flight, are you a window or aisle person? Window person.
Unless it's a very long flight, then I'm an aisle person.
Okay. And then if for long haul flights, are you a day flight person or a night flight person? Night flight.
Night flight.
And when people board, when boarding is open, are you the first one to board or the last one to board?
Depends on the airplane.
Ooh, okay, do tell.
If I'm not worried about bin space, or
Okay.
it's a gate check airplane, I can be the last to board and leave a bag outside. If it's an Embraer 175, I'd like to be the first aboard to get those first 5 or 6 rows of bin space,
Of
which
the
are
bin
bigger,
space.
bigger
Gotcha.
bins in the front.
Yeah. Now, on the eVTOL space, you live and breathe aviation. But if you were to explain the benefits of an eVTOL aircraft to someone outside the aviation industry, how would you do it?
I think the key attribute, or to simplify it a little bit, is really the simplification, safety factor, and efficiency of electric propulsion in general, which allows, I think, a safe, efficient, cost-effective eVTOL flight by spreading motors out, having multiple redundant modes of powering those motors, battery inverter, so to speak, and the ability to have distributed electric propulsion and a backup system of electric motors able to sustain that flight in all conditions is really the primary safety case for me.
Safety, efficiency, and experience.
Yes.
Fantastic. And then we're gearing up for starting our flight test campaign. And then, TC is right around the corner. So if you would have to imagine an ideal first flight for an eVTOL, you can tell from your perspective and from a broader industry perspective, what would that look like?
I know it's going to be a very brief, lift into hover and return to the ground. That's a safe and effective first flight. Come from a little bit of the flight test background, and that's it's baby steps that make a flight test program successful. So, fly the test card, do exactly what you wanted to do, and that's it. That's a successful first flight.
That's a good perspective from our flight test guys. And then once you get TC, let's say Republic takes delivery, what would be an ideal first flight then?
Well, then it's a matter of the range of experience, being able to take off vertically, transition to horizontal flight on a wing, make that most efficient transit to a destination, and again transition to vertical flight again very safely, and touch down vertically.
Having eVTOLs in service is a great desire for a lot of people, and let's imagine that the industry gets to the scale that we want it to get. How would you see life changing for people? What would be the behavior changes that you would see in people on the way they fly?
I really think it is an extension of that Uber Elevate vision from years ago. It's a true ride-hailing air taxi service that can take you directly where you need to go, and avoiding all the surface traffic and congestion and transportation, and saving hours in flying minutes. As we said earlier, we're really in the business of selling time and time back to you. I mean, from a regional airline point of view, a major airline point of view, or an air taxi, we're really trying to give you back, hours on your day and turn that hour transit into minutes. So making that commonplace and readily available for the public and at a cost-effective solution, I think, is where this can go and will go, eventually.
And Charlie, you're American. You moved around all different places in the country, but where did you grow up?
I grew up in Northeast Ohio.
Northeast Ohio. Okay. Northeast Ohio. I know you lived in California.
Yes.
You're in and out of Indy all the time these days. As an American with this huge country that you have, what would be like routes that you would see, or did you say, Charlie, from your perspective, oh, this is a no-brainer route, I would take this on an eVTOL in a blink of an eye?
There's so many. I mean, avoiding congestion in, Los Angeles and South and Central Florida. The Northeast is going to have its own challenges because of the density of population and traffic and everything. But I lived in Telluride for 4 years in the mountains, and being able to get from a not so close an airport to the town of Telluride can be a challenge. To get between Telluride and Durango, which are only 11, 12 miles apart, is a 4.5 or 5 hour experience. And my son played basketball for Telluride, and to drive to Durango for a basketball game was an all-day experience, to get there and back. But it can revolutionize geography, and bring time back to your day. And those are, I've lived in Telluride in Southern California, not lived in Florida, but I've driven enough in Florida to not like it so well.
That I-95 corridor.
I-95 and I-4 on the other side. Yeah, those are going to be the challenges that I think we can solve with advanced air mobility and eVTOL.
Charlie, thank you so much for also sparing a couple of minutes to have this chat. Hopefully, we as the manufacturer can deliver a safe and reliable aircraft so that you can help us bring urban air mobility to everyday life.
We're here with you because of Embraer and our relationship, and of building safe, incredibly reliable aircraft to our current fleet in operation today.
Thank you so much.